everybody, welcome to my plan with me for July 22nd through the 28th, which I did go to Nashville this week. So I'm using this Poets Kit from Pink Planner Shop, themed after the Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift. And I didn't, when I was picking these kits, I didn't specifically look at what I was doing, so I think it's still fitting that I have a music kit for when I went to Nashville, because I did go for a concert. So I am just so excited to use this. I think it's a really unique color scheme, and I think the art is beautiful. And for foil, I've got, I think everything is from Plan With Me stickers. Yeah. So I've got some TTPD overlays. I have volume 9 and 6 in silver, and then I've got 10 and 3 in brushed blossom, which you can see better in these solids. It's so beautiful, and I'm just excited to have a reason to use it. And then I did get the TTPD underlays in matte silver, and I got the sparkle bundle also in matte silver to go along with that. So I'll get right into the base. Okay, first I'm marking the month, so it is July, almost done though. And then I am using a piece of the kit deco and then a You Are Loved script from Carly Plans. And I think that's from her self-care sampler, like self-care script sampler, but I could be wrong. And then I am also marking Oops, Another Concert, because I did go to a concert this week. And I'm sorry if my voice is a little weird. My allergies have just been terrible. I visited some of my family in Illinois, and the allergens are way worse for me there. So I'm just trying to get through that. But the first thing I did Monday morning was, speaking of, I drove to Illinois and I was listening to a book in the car. And then I had lunch with my mom. We went to Moe's because I hadn't been in a really long time, and I used to be really obsessed with it. Now that I can't have cheese, it's not quite as exciting anymore because I loved their queso, but it's still good. And then we went shopping to a couple different craft stores because I wasn't planning on it. I just figured we'd go back to her house and chill. But she was like, do you want to go, like, look? And I was like, well, oh, yeah, I'm not going to say no to that. So we did that. I got some Halloween decor. I got some beads. And then we went back to her house and we just kind of talked for a while until she had to leave. She had something going on that night, but I just wanted to go into town to see her because it had been way too long and it's just way easier to catch up in person. Plus, it's nice to see her. Since I was in town, Sarah does live in the same town as well as Christine. So I went over to Sarah's and we hung out there. She gave me some happy mail that I had. There was like a book and some records because we combine shipping on records a lot of the time just because they're so pricey to ship. And then we had some pizza for dinner, so we just kind of ordered in. We were going to have a girls' night with Christine, but unfortunately she wasn't feeling up to it. So we just hung out and talked. And then I did go home. And when I got home, I had a big Michaels order that I had placed whenever they had their 40% off sale. Because nowhere near me has a Michaels. I have to go to St. Louis to shop at them, so it was just easier to do it online for me. Tuesday, I worked in the morning. I was filling orders, so I am guessing I just hadn't been able to get them done Monday since I was doing all that stuff in Illinois, because typically I do them as soon as I get them. But while I was working, I was listening to an audiobook. And speaking of work, I did want to mention that cork is from my shop, Corks and Corgs Co., which is linked down below. It is on Etsy. And if you're watching this the day it goes live, I will have new releases this Friday. That sticker is available, but the heart eyes are a little bit bigger because you can't really tell their hearts on that one. But after working that day, I did go run some errands because I wanted to drop my orders off at the post office. So I just did some like boring errands. It was really nothing exciting that day other than going to the post office. And that microphone is also from my shop. So when I got home from my errands, I did have happy mail this day. I had some stickers and I had a record that came. And then I did a bunch of editing this evening, which I'm sure I was not happy about because editing is like my least favorite part of YouTube, but it obviously has to happen. Then I updated my August calendar this day because I think at this point my July stuff was pretty wrapped up except for what I was doing this week. So I wanted to get the August calendar prepared. I have like a work calendar and then I have one that is in our kitchen, more like for my husband. So he knows like where I'm at when I'm gone. And then I think I was also probably just doing like to-do list stuff as well and goals for the month. Then I watched more Sex Education, and while I was watching that, I was doing some planning, which this was more like memory planning stuff, so the fun kind. Although I have been really liking my work planner. I just got one from Target, and it's got the week on one page, and they have equal amounts of space because it drives me crazy when Saturday and Sunday don't. And then it's got like just a to-do list and goals list on the next page. So that's been really helpful because it just helps keep me a lot more task oriented since I am doing a lot of different tasks. I was just keeping everything in notes on my phone, and that was getting a little overwhelming. Wednesday, I was packing that morning because I was leaving to go to Nashville with Sarah, and I did drive us to Nashville. So Sarah met me at my house, and then I drove us because it's quicker for me that way. And that was a decent chunk of the day. I want to say it's like 4.5 or maybe just 4 hours, but it's a good drive. We had an Airbnb that was basically like a huge apartment complex, and Sarah had booked it. So she had all the instructions and everything. And when we got there, we found the place and we got in the parking garage, no problem. But we were trying to figure out how to get to the lobby, and that was a mess. Like, it did not have super clear instructions on where we needed to go from the parking garage to get to that place. And we ended up like taking an elevator up, and we were on the wrong floor, and there was no like outlet or anything. It was just like these hallways of rooms, kind of like at a hotel. And so we were lost, and I was starting to have a panic attack because I'm just like looking down these long hallways that felt like they were getting longer and longer. I felt like I was in The Shining, which sounds ridiculous, but that was where my brain was at the moment. So Sarah ended up just being like, okay, let's just go back down to the car, and then I will figure out where we need to go, and then like help you from there, because I was not doing good. So then we checked in, and it was so cute. There was like a chalkboard that said welcome to Nashville. The place was just really, really nice, and I really liked it. We just had to get to the room. So once we got to it, we were good. I was very much relaxed once we got in. And the host was just super thoughtful. There was everything I could possibly have thought of and more that we might need when we were there. And then they were also like, you know, there's a sign that said message us if you need anything else. So yeah, it was just a very good experience once we figured out how to get in. So after we got all settled in, we did get ready because we were going to have dinner with my friend Ezra. And so we met up with him, and we had some dinner and drinks, and then he left because he had to go work the next morning. And Sarah and I just hung out at some different places on Broadway, and we did end up at Taco Bell at the end of the night. We had some food there as well. And we've been to Nashville enough now that we're kind of starting to figure out like what our favorite places are. So that's fun. But Taco Bell's always a good one at the end of the night because they do have drinks, but they also have food, so you can do both. So Thursday morning, I took a shower, and then we were just kind of going to be walking around an area called the Gulch, because the last times we were in Nashville, we didn't really get a chance to explore that area because our first trip, we just were in other areas, and then the second one was just shorter. So on our way to the Gulch, we did find a little coffee spot and got some coffee because I was really tired. And then we went shopping. We went to some really cute stores, but the places we bought stuff at was Winky Lux, and that place was beautiful. I was like, I want to move into this store. I took a bunch of pictures of it. And then we bought stuff at Urban Outfitters because there was like a record that I wanted, and we found something for Christine that she just like needed. So after all the shopping, we did go to this place called the Co-op, and they have frosé flights. So basically just rosé slushies, but they are in like all these different flavors. And that place, it's pretty small, but they have a bunch of outdoor seating, but it was super cute. They had like pink neon signs. It was a really fun vibe. And we were the only people there that were actually inside, so we just kind of had the place to ourselves. And then on the way back to the Airbnb, we were like, okay, we need to get food, we need to eat because we had a concert this evening. And so we went to a place called Bar Louie, and they have them in different cities. They did have one in KC, but I think it's closed. So I've been to them before. I know I can eat there. They have stuff I can eat. I ordered my stuff very specifically, as I always do. I asked for no cheese. And we were already like slightly annoyed because we like put in a drink order, and then we were ready to put in a food order, and the server just like wasn't coming over for a long time. But eventually we put our food order in, all of that, and then it was quite some time before we got the food, which is maybe not his fault. The kitchen could be backed up, that's fine. But got the food, and my food had cheese on it, so I could not eat it. So I was very frustrated because he just dropped it off and left, and then I had to like flag him down when he was helping someone else and be like, hey, I need a new sandwich because this has cheese on it. And I hate doing that so much. I feel so difficult, and I don't want to be, but I literally have food allergies, and if I didn't like it and I could have eaten it, I probably just would have. But yeah. So that sucked, but I eventually got food, and we were still able to make it in time. I was just a little stressed about time. I mean, I still tipped fine. I just, I think they were understaffed, and they did fix it, but it just wasn't the best experience. So after that, we went back to the Airbnb, and we just kind of rested. Like, I didn't take a full-on nap, but I definitely laid in bed for a while because it was hot out, and we'd been walking a lot, and we had drinks. So I just needed to like chill, and so did Sarah. So we turned the AC up really high and just rested. Then before the concert, we had like gotten ready, and then Ezra came over to like have a drink before we went to the concert because he had just gotten off work. He does like 4-day work weeks, so this was his Friday. So we went over to the venue, and then the concert was for We the Kings. I had no clue who the opener was going to be, though, because they're doing Sad Summer Festival, or they at least were, but they had like one-off shows in between them. So when we got there, I found out it was this band called Diva Bleach. They were super cute. They were a fun time, and they had like fun hair colors and stuff. So that was really cool. After Diva Bleach went on, I did buy merch. I had talked to the merch guy before like any of the music had started, and I was asking him about some merch that they had at their concert in January, but I didn't see it out. And he was like, yeah, I don't know what sizes I have, but I think I have a few in the truck, so I'll go check like when the opener starts. So he did check for me. They didn't have my size, but that was super nice. Like, he did not have to do that. And so I just got a different thing. I got a t-shirt. Then Me the Kings played, and as usual, they put on a great show. It was just so fun, and Ezra had not seen them live, so that was fun to, you know, like have someone new experience that with us. And then after the concert, we just kind of went back to the place and talked and had some snacks until we called it a night. So Friday, we were going to be leaving, and so we packed everything up, took a quick shower because I just felt like disgusting, sweaty from the concerts. We checked out, we got to my car, and if you've been watching my videos for a while, I think I talked about this like months and months and months ago when my husband's car battery died, but basically we knew at the time it died that we were going to eventually need a new alternator, but it kind of just stopped having issues after we replaced the battery. So we're like, okay, it's fine. Well, I got in the car, we had no issues up until now, and there was a low battery charge warning, and I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So I knew how to check the battery voltage in the car because I had to deal with it before, but essentially the car was not charging its battery, so I was concerned. But we had driven over to the Country Music Hall of Fame, and I called my husband, and he was like, yeah, just keep an eye on it. So we went and we got to look around the Country Music Hall of Fame. That was so fun. I didn't really know what to expect because I am not big into country music. I know she's not a country artist anymore, but like Taylor Swift is really the only one that I have followed within the country music genre. So I didn't know what to expect, but Sarah said, I think you'll really like it a lot anyway, and there is Taylor Swift stuff in there. And I just had a great time. I mean, it was super cool. There's all sorts of stuff. I mean, I know of a lot of the artists, even if I don't necessarily know their music. So I mean, they had Elvis's car, which was like insane. The stuff he had in his car in the 70s. And then there was like the Taylor Swift friendship bracelet display, which I got a little emotional about when I saw it. I don't know why. It was just really cool to see because the whole friendship bracelet thing on this Eras Tour experience has been a very fun thing. And also, if you are a Swiftie, I walked up to the display, and the part of the song that is about Taylor Swift in Clara Bow, like started playing in my head. So if you know, you know. If not, it's fine. So after we did that, we did stop by Michael's because we were there. And I wanted to look at the Halloween decor and Sarah wanted to look at beads. So we did a little bit of shopping, had some food before we came back because they had a Chipotle and that's something I also don't have where I live. So I was a little concerned about the battery, but I was like, it'll be okay once we get on the highway, you know, battery will start charging. Well, we were getting towards where we needed to get onto the interstate. We were on a highway, but getting close-ish to our exit, but it was a lot of stop and go traffic, unfortunately, because of the timing, and the alternator died. So my power steering went out and I had to just pull over to the shoulder of the road. Thank goodness I was in the right lane and I was just right by the shoulder, because I've driven without power steering before and it is hard and not a good thing to do. So I have roadside assistance, so I called them, but it took like an hour and a half for them to even get us towed. And Sarah found us a car shop that it seemed like would be able to fix my car before like end of their business day, which we really, really needed because like Sarah had some stuff that she needed to do the next day in Illinois, and I was just in a state of so much panic that I was like, I need to be home. Like, I can't stay here. And I do have family in Nashville. And obviously I mentioned I have a friend as well. So I would have had a place to stay, but I was like, this is not, I can't have this happen. I can't, like, I need to be home. So she found a place, but then with the timing of the tow truck, I was really concerned because we got there at 5:30 and they closed at 6. And I know it takes longer than that to fix an alternator. Like, I'm not a mechanic, but I knew it wasn't going to be that quick. So we got there and, you know, talked to them, and I was like, I just want it fixed today. I'm just trying to get back to Missouri. Like, is that possible? And they said yes. And when they started working on my car, like after they walked away, I just burst into tears because I was just so stressed, but I was like holding it together, and I was finally able to like have a moment. So I am so grateful I was able to get it done. It was stupid expensive and I wish it didn't happen when I was in Nashville, but that's life sometimes. So I got home and I'm grateful I was able to. So on the drive home, she and I were pretty loopy because it had just been such a long day. We were playing the question game, which I have talked about before. We basically just put on Spotify and we will shuffle a question, and then the song answers it. So we did that to like keep us awake and alert and everything. And then I got home and I talked to my husband for a bit because Sarah did have to go home in the night and packed. And I just watched Lucifer because there was no way I was doing anything after such a long day. So the next day I cuddled with my husband and Link because I didn't want both dogs sleeping in the bed with us. I don't know if I mentioned it very frequently, but I am allergic to dogs, so it was really not the best thing for them to sleep in our bed, but they're cute, so I let them do it on the weekends. And then once we got up, my husband and I did play Princess Peach Showtime. We had some Burger King for lunch and watched Courage the Cowardly Dog. Then I took a really long nap or I guess a really hard nap at least. Watched Lucifer, did some planning while I was doing that, and played Emoji Blitz. So it was a really low-key day, which I very, very much needed. Sunday morning, I cuddled my husband and Evie because it was her night to sleep with us. And then I made some bracelets once I was like up and ready for the day. I was listening to Iron Wing and I watched the Eras Tour stream. I think we thought something was gonna happen this day. To be honest, I can't keep track of all the times we think Reputation Taylor's version is gonna come out, but it's just fun to watch the Eras Tour lives anyway, so I did that while I was making bracelets still. Then I watched some Lucifer while planning again. And we were like, we really need to make dinner, but we're just exhausted. So we ordered Taco Bell, which I regretted because they messed up every single item of my food. They put cheese on every one of them. So I was in a mood. I was really salty about it. I don't remember what I ate, but yeah, I was pissed. And then I just filmed some bases this evening. So I'm assuming I was probably also watching Lucifer since I was filming bases because I watch stuff when I do. Although I was thinking about it today, the day I'm filming, and I guess I could listen to audiobooks too. But I decided not to today because I just finished one. So our Nashville trip was like such a fun time. I'm so glad we did it. And it was going to be like a short trip, but then we just had a little something we were celebrating. So we extended it, and I'm really, really glad we did, but obviously it was really eventful in a not great way when we were trying to come back home. So it was an exciting week in good and bad ways, but overall it was good. By the time we were like on the way home, we were able to laugh about the situation, which I was like, okay, this is good. This means everything is okay now. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.